SPCA, who has been doing some fantastic work in conjunction with Bobtail this year with Espresso. Of course, this becomes a very important time of the year. Dogs and cats, yes, but we often forget about the more exotic animals like the tortoise. I bet you a tortoise has never been called exotic. Liesl Pinot joins us from the SPCA. You're one of our national inspectors. Welcome to the show. Tortoises are really cute, of course. We absolutely love them, but when it comes to keeping a tortoise as a pet, there are very special considerations. And I would imagine in your expecting, these are one of those pets that do pop up in some rather unusual places. What do we need to be considering when keeping these kinds of animals, which essentially here in South Africa are wild, as pets?
Well, essentially they have to stay in the wild. Obviously, that's the first thing. Wild animals don't make ideal pets. They have specific habitat requirements, they have specific food requirements that not everybody knows. You can't just give a tortoise, your domestic foods and that, because they're not used to that. They come from the wild, they will stay a wild animal forever. So it's better to rather keep them in the wild and keep them there. All South African tortoises are also protected by law. So you can't hurt them, you can't carry them around, you can't keep them as pets. You do need a permit if you want to keep one as a pet.
We've all seen that heartbreaking scene on the side of many of our national roads, especially with having so much wild space here in South Africa and resorts attached to these wonderful wild areas. People selling tortoises on the side of the road. What message do you have for those people that end up buying these exotic animals under those circumstances?
One thing to remember with basically any animal, buying them off the side of the road, you're basically supporting a trade. You're supporting the pet trade. People try and do the right thing. They try and rescue the animals,
but so bad.
Yes, but it's rather report them so that we can actually take the people down responsible for this, rather than supporting the trade.
Of course, the plight of wild animals, I think, has gotten back firmly on the map this year, sadly because of the rate of our rhinos being poached at the moment. But this applies to all wildlife here in South Africa. We don't realize how lucky we are to have this on our doorstep. Talk to us about some of the situations. Where have you found tortoises? Where are the biggest risk areas? Who is keeping these animals as pets when they shouldn't be?
It's actually hard to say because it's basically anybody and everywhere. But the tortoises mostly come from, sometimes you get the owners that come to you and say, okay, look, I rather want my tortoise to go back into a natural habitat, that type of thing. A lot of times it's through education, educating the owners, persuading them to rather give them up and let them go into a natural area, or it's through educating the public. But sometimes they are confiscated, rescued, removed from appalling conditions.
It really does break the heart. It is a very cute and sweet animal, and you've had time to spend with them, obviously in a very positive side of this cycle, and that's releasing them into the wild. And that is something to remember, that we have got professionals who can handle this process. Recently involved with the Demontsfontein release. Tell us a little bit about that. It sounds like a real feel-good story.
Well, like I said, the tortoises, where they came from, that type of thing. People brought them into the SPCA, and the SPCA just, they looked at a specific habitat and released them back into their more natural environment. It is a closed-off environment because you can't just release tortoises anywhere because of disease factors, habitat specifics, food specifics, and competition from other species as well. So those are all factors that you have to bear in mind as well when releasing tortoises. So rather let the professionals do it.
I like the sound of that. Now, of course, we've been working with one of the professionals who have been putting in all the hard yards for our pets this year. Bobtail have been donating a huge amount through your help by buying those specially marked packs of Bobtail. They are planning to hand over at least 200,000 Rand to aid the rescue of animals, and of course looking after those animals that have been rescued. You can donate by buying a specially marked pack of Bobtail and by SMSing the word donate to 33728. Now, my apologies, 3801. 38018. How necessary, Liesl, are these funds at this time of the year? As someone who has to be on those front lines of looking after our nation's animals, how much of a push are you guys on at this time of the year? I would imagine a lot of abandoned animals.
A lot of abandoned animals, yes. This is the busiest time of year. It's a festive season. People go away, sometimes, not leaving someone to look after the animals. This is also the kitten and the puppy season, so a lot of those animals also coming in, people not sterilizing the animals once again. So there's a lot of animals coming in and a lot of work going out there to make sure that all the animals are cared for. So the funds and the food this time is very, very important for most of the societies.
Thank you so much for the work that you put in. It really is a selfless job, but we rely so much on people like yourself. Thank you so much. We look forward to being in on the next fantastic release. Protect our tortoises. They really are one of those hidden, slow-moving gems of South Africa. Now it is French Toast Day, which is getting us inspired. And of course, we have got Larry Soffe in studio. So much to look forward to. And of course, my mystery cricketing guest, who I think you might know who it is by now. Lee, how are you feeling on this Wednesday morning, hun?
Strong South African dogs help each other out. With your support, Bobtail will supply 200,000 meals to dogs looking for loving homes. For details, see specially marked packs in store or visit bobtail.co.za today.